everyone, and welcome back. If your phone or computer has been running slow, freezing, or taking forever to load apps, you're not alone. It's frustrating when a device that used to work perfectly fine suddenly slows down, but before you think about replacing it, there are a lot of things you can do to bring it back up to speed. Today we're going to go over step-by-step ways to speed up your phone or computer, from simple quick fixes to more advanced settings that can make a big difference. Whether you have an older device or a fairly new one that's just not running like it used to, these tips should help you get the most out of it. A lot of people don't realize that slowdowns are completely normal over time. Phones and computers get cluttered with extra files, background apps, and unnecessary programs that take up all the memory and processing power. But the good news is most of these issues can be fixed without spending any money. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to speed up your device without having to take it to a repair shop or buy a new one. And if you have a specific issue, drop your question in the comments and we'll help you troubleshoot it. Alright, let's get started with why devices slow down in the first place, so you know exactly what's causing the problems. We all love that feeling of a brand new phone or computer. It's fast, smooth, and responsive. But after a while it starts lagging. Apps take longer to open, the battery drains faster, and you might even start seeing crashes. So why does this happen? There are a few key reasons. The first is too many background apps or programs running. Every time you install a new app or program, it might continue running in the background, even when you're not using it. These background processes take up memory and processing power, slowing everything down over time. Another thing that happens is limited storage space. Devices need free space to function properly. When your phone or computer is almost full, the system has a harder time managing files and running smoothly. If your storage is constantly at 90% or more, that could be a major reason why your device is slowing down. Another thing that can happen is outdated software. Software updates aren't just for new features, they also improve speed and fix bugs that might be causing slow performance. If you're running an outdated version of your operating system or apps, your device might struggle to keep up. Another thing that is kind of hidden from you is cluttered cache and browser data. Your phone and computer store temporary files called cache to help apps and websites load faster. But over time, these files build up and actually start slowing things down instead of helping. If you've never cleared your cache before, this could be a big reason why your device feels sluggish. Another thing that can happen over time is aging hardware. Now, if your device is very old, like a phone that's more than 5 years old or a computer that's struggling to run even basic programs, then the hardware might be an issue. But in most cases, a slow device is caused by software and storage problems that can be fixed without upgrading to something new. The good news is that we can address most of these issues with a few simple fixes, and that's exactly what we're going to cover next. Let's start with some of the quick things you can do right now to speed up your phone or computer. Alright, now that we know why devices slow down, let's jump into some of the quick and easy fixes you can try right now. These don't take much time and should see improvements almost immediately. First, restart your device. This might sound too simple, but trust me, restarting your phone or computer can work wonders. A restart clears temporary files and shuts down unnecessary background apps that gives your system a fresh start. For phones, just power it off completely. Wait 30 seconds and turn it back on. For computers, do a full restart instead of just putting it to sleep. Make it a habit to restart your device at least once a week to keep things running smoothly. Another thing to do is to close unused apps and programs. Many apps and programs stay open in the background even after you stop using them. This can drain memory and slow everything down. On Windows, open up the Task Manager, Control, Shift, and Escape, and go to the Processes tab, and close apps you don't need. On Mac, you open Activity Monitor, Commands plus space, then type Activity Monitor. Find apps that use too much CPU and close them. On a phone, swipe away apps running in the background or go to Settings, Battery, and Performance to force close resource-heavy apps. This way you can also check what apps are using a lot of resources on your phone. If your storage is nearly full, your device won't have enough room to run properly. Try freeing up some space by doing the following. First, delete old apps. If you haven't used an app in months, uninstall it. Even if it's something that is useful like Uber or a food ordering app, just uninstall it for now. You can always reinstall it when you need it later. There's no reason to keep it installed at all times. Another thing to do is to clear out old downloads. Check your downloads folder and remove files you don't need. Empty the recycle bin on Windows or recently deleted folder on Mac and mobile to permanently delete files. Move large files to an external drive or cloud storage. This frees up internal storage for system processes. These quick fixes should already make a difference, but let's go a little deeper with some storage management strategies. Now let's talk about storage. If your device is constantly running out of space, it's going to slow down, no matter how fast it was when you bought it. Here's how you can keep things organized and running smoothly. Check what's using the most space. Before you start deleting things randomly, it helps to see what's actually taking up space. On Windows, go to Settings and Storage to see a breakdown of files, apps, and temporary data. On Mac, go to Apple Menu, About Mac, Storage to see categories of what's using up your disk space. On iPhone or Android, go to Settings and Storage to check space usage by apps, photos, and other files. You can also move files to cloud or external storage. If you're running out of space but don't want to delete important files, cloud storage can be a lifesaver. Services like Google Drive, iCloud, OneDrive, or Dropbox let you store files online instead of on your device. Phones enable automatic photo backups to Google Photos or iCloud to free up space. On computers, move large files to an external hard drive or USB stick instead of keeping everything inside your internal storage. Next, you'll want to uninstall bloatware and unused apps. Many devices come with pre-installed apps you never use. These take up space and sometimes run in the background. On Windows, go to Settings and Apps to find unnecessary programs and uninstall them. On Mac, go to Finder and Applications and drag unused apps to the trash and empty it. On Android, disable pre-installed apps that can't be uninstalled. Apps and browsers store temporary files or cache to load faster, but over time this actually slows things down. On Windows, use Disk Cleanup, search for it within the Start menu. On Mac, use Storage Management under About This Mac. On iPhone or Android, go to Settings, Storage, Cache Data to clear it out. Freeing up storage helps the device run faster and smoother, especially if you were low on space. Next, let's talk about another easy way to boost performance, keeping your software up to date. One of the easiest ways to keep your device running smoothly is to make sure everything is up to date. Software updates might seem annoying, and they really are, but they actually fix bugs, improve performance, and even boost security. If your device is slow, outdated software could be a reason why. Every update includes performance improvements, bug fixes, and security patches. If you're running old software, your device might be struggling with issues that have already been fixed in a newer version. How to check for updates? In Windows, go to Settings and Windows Update and install any pending updates. On Mac, click the Apple logo, System Settings, Software Update, and install the latest Mac OS update. On iPhone and iPad, go to Settings, General, and Software Update to install the latest iOS version. And on Android, go to Settings, Systems, and Software Update to check for updates. Updating your operating system is important, but don't stop there. Your apps and programs also need updates. If an app is running slow or crashing, it might just need an update. On a computer, update programs through their built-in settings or the Windows App Store or Mac App Store. On a phone, open the iOS App Store or Google Play Store and go to Updates to install any pending updates. If your device still isn't running well after updating, you might need to take things a step further. One option is a factory reset, but don't worry, this is only a last resort. Don't resort to it first. The first thing you need to do is manage your startup programs. Some programs automatically start when you turn on your computer, even if you don't need them right away. Disabling these can significantly speed up and boost time and overall performance. On Windows, press Ctrl, Shift, and Escape to open Task Manager. Click the Startup tab. Disable programs you don't need on the startup, like Skype, OneDrive, Spotify, or anything else that doesn't look familiar. On Mac, open System Settings, User and Groups, and Login Items. Remove apps that you don't need at launch when your Mac starts. Disabling unnecessary startup programs can make your computer start much faster and free up memory for things you actually use. Your phone might have dozens of apps running in the background without you realizing. These apps drain battery and slow down your device. On iPhone, go to Settings, General, Background App Refresh, and turn off the apps that you don't need running in the background. On Android, open Settings and Battery and Performance, then check which apps are using the most resources and restrict background activity. This can make a huge difference, especially with older phones with limited RAM. Close unused tabs in your web browser. If you always have 20 plus tabs open in Chrome or Safari, your browser might actually be using up all your memory. Try closing tabs you don't need or using an extension like OneTab to save and restore them for later. You can also always save things as a bookmark and use that to manage them. The next thing to try is to close unused tabs in your web browser. It might sound simple, but if you always have 20 plus tabs open in Chrome or Safari, your browser might actually be using up all your memory by a significant margin. Try closing your tabs you don't need to use or using an extension like OneTab to save and restore them later. I personally use an app called raindrop.io to save tabs as bookmarks and give me notifications to come back to them at a later date or time. Alright, so maybe your phone or computer isn't the problem. Maybe it's your internet connection slowing everything down. If your device runs fine offline but struggles to load websites, stream videos, or download files, here's what to do. Step 1 is to run a speed test. Before making any changes, check your actual internet speed. Go to speedtest.net or use the Google Speed Test by searching Internet Speed Test on Google. If your speeds are way lower than what your internet provider promised, that could be an issue. If the test shows slow speed, here are a few things you can try. Step 2 is to restart your router. It sounds basic, but restarting your router can fix a lot of problems. Just unplug it for 30 seconds, then plug it back in and wait for it. Step 3 is to improve your Wi-Fi signal. A weak Wi-Fi signal can make everything feel slow even if your internet is technically fine. Try these fixes. Move closer to the router. Walls and furniture can block Wi-Fi signals. Use a wired connection. If possible, connect your computer to the router with an Ethernet cable for a faster and more stable connection. And finally, maybe it's time to upgrade your router. If your router is more than 5 years old, it might not be fast enough for modern internet speed. Step 4 is to limit background activity. Too many devices using the internet at once can slow things down. If someone in your house is streaming 4K movies or downloading massive files, it might be causing lag for everyone else. Try pausing large file downloads or limiting the number of connected devices. If none of these fixes work, your internet provider might be the problem, so consider calling them and check for outages or upgrades. If you've tried everything and your phone and computer is still painfully slow, it might not be a software issue. It could be time for an upgrade. Signs that you might need a new device. Your phone can't install new updates. If your operating system is too old to support updates, you're missing out on speed improvements and security fixes, leaving you open for potential hackers or scammers. Your computer might take forever to boot up, even after optimizing. A startup time of more than 2 to 3 minutes is a red flag. Apps constantly crash or freeze. If even basic programs like your web browser are struggling, your device might be outdated. Before replacing your computer, consider upgrading certain parts first. It's cheaper and can extend its life. Upgrade to an SSD or a solid-state drive. If your computer still is an old mechanical hard drive, the kind that has a disk that spins up, you can hear it when it's running. Think about switching to an SSD, and that can make a huge difference. You can also add more RAM. More memory helps with multitasking and running large programs. If your phone is slowing down, try battery replacement or factory reset before buying a new one. Sometimes a small upgrade can bring an old device back to life, but if it's more than 5 to 6 years old, it might be worth investing in something newer. My laptop takes forever to boot up, even after I cleaned up files and disabled startup programs. What else can I try? If you've already disabled unnecessary startup programs and cleaned up your files, the next step is to check if your hard drive is a traditional HDD or SSD. A traditional HDD is the kind with a disk that you can hear when your computer starts up, and an SSD, it looks more like a puck and has no moving parts. Older mechanical hard drives slow down over time. Upgrading to an SSD can make a huge difference in boot up speeds and overall performance. Also, check if your laptop has enough RAM. 8 GB or more is ideal for most users. Is it safe to delete cache and temporary files? Will it remove anything important? Yes. It is completely safe to delete cache and temporary files. Cache files are just stored data that helps websites and apps load faster, but over time they take up too much space and can slow things down. Deleting them won't remove personal files, passwords, or anything important, just temporary data that your device can rebuild as needed. I cleared out storage on my phone, but it still feels slow. Could it be something else? If clearing storage didn't help, check if you have too many background apps running. Go to your phone's battery settings and look up apps that are using a lot of power or your data even when you're not actively using them. Disable background app refresh on iOS or restrict background processes on Android can help. Also, try restarting your phone if you haven't already. It can clear out memory and temporary slowdowns. My internet is so slow even though I pay for high-speed internet. What can I do to speed it up? A few things could be causing this. First, run a speed test either by going to speedtest.net or Googling Google Speed Test to see if you're getting the speeds your provider promised. If the speed is low, try restarting your router or modem, move closer to your router or use an Ethernet cable for a stronger connection, and check if any other devices in your home are using a lot of bandwidth, like someone streaming or playing games. If the problem continues, call your internet provider to check for outages or upgrade options that might be available. How often should I update my phone or computer? I feel like updates slow things down instead of speeding them up. It's a good idea to keep your operating system and apps updated regularly. Updates usually improve performance, fix security issues, and optimize speed. However, if your device is very old, some updates can actually slow things down because they're designed for newer hardware. In that case, you might want to install only essential updates or consider upgrading your device. Is there a way to stop my computer from automatically running programs when I turn it on? Yes, on Windows, press Control, Shift, and Escape to open Task Manager. On the top, you should see a Startup tab, and when you click on that, you should disable any programs you don't want at launch at startup. On Mac, go to System Settings, Users and Groups, and Login Items, and remove unnecessary apps from the list. This should help your computer boot up faster. Should I factory reset my phone if it's running slow? A few things could be causing this. First, run a speed test either by going to speedtest.net or Googling Google Speed Test to see if you're getting the speeds your provider promised. If the speed is low, try restarting your router or modem, move closer to your router or use an Ethernet cable for a stronger connection, and check if any other devices in your home are using a lot of bandwidth, like someone streaming or playing games. If the problem continues, call your internet provider to check for outages or upgrade options that might be available. So let's do a quick recap. If your phone or computer is running slow, first try restarting your device to clear up memory. Free up storage space by deleting old files and apps. Keep your software and apps updated to get speed improvements. Stop unnecessary background apps that are hogging resources. Check your internet connection if things are slow online, and consider an upgrade if your device is too old to handle everyday tasks. These simple steps should make a noticeable difference, but if you're still having issues, drop a comment below. Let us know what's slowing your device down and we'll help troubleshoot. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We post tech tips every week to help you get the most from your devices. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.